As time goes on my channel and in my music, um, people will understand more about me and my thoughts, my feelings about different subjects. One subject that will always be very difficult for me to talk about or to deal with, even in my own life, is death. And much as it affected me in a crazy way when Michael Jackson passed and Whitney Houston passed, 2016 was a year that I totally was not prepared for. 2016, on a musical level for me, was one of the worst. David Bowie and Prince, two icons, staples in music, geniuses in my opinion. Two artists that pushed the envelope, broke boundaries and barriers, musically, fashion, um, and ironically, like uh, gender barriers, you know, um, prolific, reinventive are words that come to mind when I think about these two great artists that we lost this year. I never got a chance to see David Bowie live. Um, but like I said, I watched the many incarnations over the years. And then when I actually first discovered David Bowie was in the 80s. I think the first song that I actually ever heard before I went back and actually listened to his earlier work was Let's Dance. And I had no idea that he had done, songs like Fame and stuff like that. I mean, just sampled by so many hip hop artists, some of his work. But I had no idea. And so I went back and I started listening, to the Stardust, Ziggy Stardust, and different incarnations, like I said, of David Bowie, and I just amazed by the talent and the fierceness and he just did what he wanted to do creatively, and I admire that so much. Uh, and then Prince, I actually saw him in 2001 in Cleveland, Ohio, and it was unbelievable. Like, it's an experience that I will never ever forget. I haven't since I did it, and I never in life will forget that show. In an age today where a lot of these artists don't have the longevity, uh, don't really want the longevity. I mean, a lot of these young artists are about money. They're about the right now. Prince was a musician. David Bowie was a musician in all senses of the word. And they cared more about the music and the art that is in the music than a lot of artists. And maybe in some regards, some of their contemporaries. And I think a lot of times that gives you the difference between a one-hit wonder and a person with a long career. But there's not too many of these icons left. Losing these two artists made me reaffirm what it was that I wanted to do, and it was like also one of the driving forces behind me going back to school, because I had dealt with record companies, had been signed to record companies that some of them couldn't do what they said they could do, some of them didn't care to do what they said they could do, some of them were full of shit from the jump. 2016 saw me leave a record company, leave a record label that I was signed to, after being put on the sidelines in the back burner for 2 fucking years. 2016 saw the beginning of, actually the end of 2015. I was supposed to go on a tour and was basically conned out of some money, was left to take the blame, when, you know, I was actually hanging out with the guy who says that he was a concert promoter, and come to find out he scammed all of us. But because I, you know, was running with him, because like I trusted the dude, um, you know, other people who were supposed to be on the tour turned against me and blamed me for it, and I took the heat for a lot of the shit that went on. And I, you know, honest to God, and on everything, I knew nothing about the scam. It wasn't until a little bit later that I began to put two and two together myself, because I started doing research, and I come to find out that some of the people that he said was on the tour, he didn't even know, number one. Number two, they were actually bigger celebrities who would never even give this guy time of day. So basically, you know, we got conned out as to money. Thankfully, you know, I didn't get conned out of that much money, but the fact of the matter is I got conned out of some money, so it's still all bad. You know, business ventures that could have been made, or business relationships that could have been made between me and some of the other artists when the shit went down, never could happen, because they blamed me for shit that went down. And the guy who had conned women and conned other artists ran like a little bitch. Somewhere around this country, pretty much probably doing the same shit to somebody else, because, you know, like, he gets caught up in his shit and then he runs like a coward. I'm going to leave it at that, because, like I said, you know, what would happen if I saw this dude don't need to be talked about on camera. I'm not one of them little fuckboys who get on the internet and talk all this shit about what they gonna do and what they not gonna do. And so if something happened to a motherfucker, then all of a sudden they know exactly where to come to. So I ain't gonna do it like that. We just gonna keep it a buck right now. We gonna keep it a straight beam, and it is what it is. But do know what it is. So, you know, that incident, like, it really messed with me, because I'm all about achieving. I'm all about doing things that is going to, you know, just for the sake of the art, for the love of the art. You know, I think, you know, I heard years ago, if you do good work, money will come. And so it was never about really money for me. It was about me getting my art out there and people hearing what I had to offer musically. And so it was after that I decided, you know, with everything that happened with the tour, everything that happened with this dude who I once considered a friend, everything that happened with the record company put me on the shelf for 2 years, that I was going to go back to school, and I ended up going to Full Sail for audio production, and I decided that I'm going to start my own label, and I'm going to put my own records out, and I'm going to be very prolific when I do it. I'm going to put out a lot of music. I'm going to do a lot more videos. I'm not going to let the opinions of others stifle me, much like David Bowie and Prince, for example. You know, they did their thing. They loved their music. They did it with every ounce of passion that was in them. Rest in power to both of these brilliant artists. They will forever be influences in my life and in my career, and for the rest of the time that I have on this planet, I intend to be as musical as humanly possible. I want fans. I want people to love what I do. I want to get better. Guitars in this room, piano in this room, keyboards in this room, machine over there, mics, and everything that I could possibly want to create is here. There's no excuse. But I'm not going to beg anybody. I'm not going to beg for support. I'm not going to beg for worship. I'm not going to beg for understanding anymore. I'm not going to try to fit in with anybody. I'm not going to try to sign with anybody. I've had people come to me and say that they wanted to join me in building Bipolar Entertainment, which is my label, my brand, only to basically shit on me and, you know, go do other things, which is their prerogative and their right, and I hold no ill will towards anybody. But I am an artist that regardless of whether or not you like me or you dislike me or you think that I'm good or you think that I'm not good, I'm somebody you can't fuck with. Because the reality of it is as much as a motherfucker wants to hate me, I'm the shit. And I will never ever let nobody tell me that I'm not again. So, and that's not me being cocky. I think my music speaks for itself. I'm getting better. And when you get better, you get confident, more confident. But I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. I'm very humble. I pay homage to other artists. I respect other artists. I respect their visions. And all I'm asking in return is people respect mine. And you can, or you don't have to. I don't give a fuck either way. I'm still going to do what I want to do. So whether it be music, whether it be clothing line, as a songwriter, as a producer, right now as a student, as a graphic artist, anything that I do it with passion, and I put my soul into it. And again, I have artists such as Prince and David Bowie and Michael Jackson, and mostly all of the artists that I came up with. And then as time went on, it wasn't just the artists that I came up with. I started like listening to all kinds of different music, and you know, that's why today, I mean, my favorite music would be classic rock, and I love the blues, and I like hard rock, and you know, I wasn't really a hip hop head coming up. You know what I'm saying? I like hip hop, but I wasn't a hip hop head. I am more of a person who can go and you ask me who sung this song and how did that song go. I can sing the song for you, but if you tell me to spit bars of a hip hop thing, I can tell you some of it, but I wasn't that guy. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't that guy who could like recite every rhyme, but I could sing every song. And for that, when I was coming up, I got ridiculed for it. I got like made fun of because I wasn't, you know, because I wasn't a hip hop head or whatever. I was considered to be square or whatever, and it used to bother me. But I'm, you know, I'm an older guy now, so it's like I don't give two shits. I'm gonna make the music that makes me feel good, that makes me feel whole, that makes me feel like inspired. And for people who can get behind that and don't expect me to be perfect, but just enjoy the rise of not only an artist but a businessman and a visionary, then I can fuck with people like that. But for those people who just can constantly and always have to hate or talk shit or ridicule or troll or whatever, I just don't have time for you. And it won't be tolerated on this channel. It won't be tolerated on any of my pages. It won't be tolerated on my website. It will not. I didn't always have this gumption. I always didn't have this confidence. I have those artists to thank for that. So again, rest in peace to all of the artists that have inspired me and inspired my music and inspired my career. Special thanks to every person all across the country that I have come in contact with. Those who don't fuck with my music, those who just constantly won't give me my props, those who constantly raise other people above me and tell everybody that everybody's so much better than me. I want you to keep doing all that shit. I want you to do that because that lights a fire underneath me. And then we'll see where we all go from here, because I don't have shit to prove to anybody. But for those people who follow me, for those who don't follow me, you'll be hearing a lot more about me in the years to come, God willing. I know at some point my time will come and I will no longer be here, but I want my music to remain. I want my vision to remain. I want my drive and my hope to remain. My struggle, I want that to remain. I want to leave a blueprint of how you can absolutely come from nothing and be told that you're nothing, and you can rise above. So anybody who rides with me and who rocks with me, thank you very much. That's all I got to say, really. But rest in peace to those who gave so much for the art of music. Peace.